Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Garrett Horner, and this is Amstel Gold 2021. The first time I arrived up here in the north, I was racing with Francis de Jure in the late 90s. We arrived with the cars because we didn't have buses in those days. You had to pull into the parking area. It was a great big center town, and everything was open to the public. It wasn't VIP back in those days. If the public wanted to come into the cars and meet the riders and the teams, they could all do that. When we first arrived, I was blown away how many fans were in the middle of this square. We could barely get the car into the parking spot. When we did, you had to wait for the fans to move as you were pushing open the passenger doors to step out of your car. We'd go to the back of the car. We'd start to get our legs all oiled up with heat cream and stuff. It's normally colder in the morning starts up north like this. And while you're getting cream and massaged on the legs, you're signing autographs and taking pictures as soon as the soigneur is done with you. It's a fabulous atmosphere when you're up north here, and it's beautiful bike racing. Today's course, a bit different than we're normally used to because, of course, with 2020 just behind us, everybody's still recovering from the pandemic. No fans. They're arriving at the start. They're going to take off and smooth and quiet. Not like it was in the 90s for me, but it's still going to be an action-packed race. Going to be a big break that gets away. They're going to gain 4 or 5 minutes. When I turn on and start watching, it's about what they have. It's Jumbo-Visma and Movistar's up there. Now, Movistar, I don't know why, but it's not that big of a deal. You're going to put one guy on the front. No big deal. At least it's not your whole team up there just driving like a madman all day long. Remember, this day is 217 kilometers instead of the normal 250, 265 that we'd see. They shortened it for the pandemic, and they make it safer by doing a tighter, about a 17-kilometer circuit. The most famous climb, the Kalkberg. They're going to do that. It comes normally right near the finish. Even this year, they're going to change that. It's near the finishing laps, but the last lap will be different than all the previous laps, so you won't do the Kalkberg. That climb is super famous. They do it every year here. They'll do it at the World Championships back in the 90s when I did it, and I was racing for Lance Armstrong coming off of his 4th place at the Tour of Spain, I believe it was, and he goes on to go 4th, I believe, at the World Championships that year too. It was a hard day for us when we did it. Back in the 90s, it's been hard every time I'm doing it for Amstel Gold. Today is going to be no different. Action really starts about 65K to go. So if you're sitting on your couch wondering where to watch it from, click it on at 65K, and it's Quebaco Assos that's up there throwing in attacks and causing the action to really get going fast. From that point on, it's really not one team back there just drilling it to try to bring that break back. It's going to come back naturally with attacks and re-attacks and catchers and re-attacks again. 50K to go. There's a good crash there. I believe it's about 52K to go if I remember right. Keep an eye out when you're watching it because Mari van Savenot, the Deceuninck Quick-Step rider, his dad's an ex-pro. He's out there, he goes down, and this guy's chasing hard. He gets my character of award for today's race because he went deep, and he went deeper than I've seen most guys do. When you crash like he did and you spend all day chasing on the back and you get to the front and you're still important under 10K to go, for none other than the world champion Julian Alaphilippe, you know you're a character. This guy can ride the bike, so keep an eye out for him in the future races. Now, up front, I want to point something out. This is big. We've always said this on the Butterfly Effect about Jumbo-Visma when it comes to Wout Van Aert at these classic races. He's always isolated. He's always on his own. He's always covering attacks left and right, and that usually begins from 50, 60K to go. At 45, 43K to go, he's at the back, and the group's probably 70 guys still going down a narrow road. He's at the back with one teammate. No panic, man. Don't have to panic. Why doesn't he have to panic? He's got Primoz Roglic and Jonas Vingegaard up front. They're covering all of the attacks, and they're doing a fabulous job. They're either in the moves or they're pulling the moves back, and they'll do a great job. They will miss a 6-man move that's a threat, but it's no problem because you got Primoz Roglic, right? Number 1 rider in the world. We just got done seeing him win the Basque Country. That is the difference from the earlier races that we've seen at these classics. When Wout Van Aert won earlier at one of the classics at Gent-Wevelgem, he had his teammate with him to control things, and then he won. Today, 43K to go. He's sitting back there. He's in a bad position. This is not a good place to be if you are isolated and attacks are going. But like I said, got number one rider in the world, Primož Roglič, up there, and he's riding all day. So later at the Tour de France, when we see Wout Van Aert just doing some stellar work for Primož Roglič, keep that in mind. That's super important right there to remember what Primož is doing right now, giving up his chance at winning today's Amstel Gold Race for his teammate Wout Van Aert. Attacks go. 6 guys are up the road. We're going to hit the Kalkberg, and it's going to be the second to last time up. And here it is. Primož Roglič will blow this field up to pieces. He'll go over the top. Group reduces half in size. It's only Primož Roglič, and it's Wout Van Aert. If I'm being nitpicky, I thought at this moment it might have been a little soon for Primož to go ahead and blow it up. But we all seen that he can ride all day long, and he's going to do it again today. He'll do the next 17-20K on the front, controlling brakes left and right, bringing them back until we hit the Kalkberg one more time with about 18K to go. At that same moment, Primož gets some bad luck, and he has a bike issue and pulled over. He's out of the race. Wout Van Aert is isolated. At that same moment, though, Wout's isolated, he's throwing in a big dig after the Trek Segafredo rider attacks. Wout counters, and he just blows this race up. He's going over the top with Max Schachmann, Tom Pidcock, and he's got Julian Alaphilippe back there struggling to get on. Michael Matthews is back there trying to survive. You'll see there's 3 groups all chasing each other, and they're chasing all the way up to Kalkberg, down the slight descent, and then it's not quite flat. It'll still kind of pick up a little bit when you're going to the start-finish line, but it'll dip a little bit, pick up a little bit. All those groups, 3-4 groups, all chasing each other, and they're all like this, and they're all almost within touching distance of the front group. Finally, the favorites will blow it up. We'll get rid of the field. Even Julian Alaphilippe cannot control the attacks. It's the Ineos riders that have 3 up front. 1 is with Wout. Carapaz, I believe, is jumping across. Michael Kwiatkowski is basically ditching Julian Alaphilippe, and we're watching the world champion go backwards. We didn't see that all last year. Keep that in mind. That's a rare sight when you see Julian Alaphilippe getting ditched and he's dropping back. Now up front, Wout Van Aert's got a dilemma. He's got 3 incredibly strong Ineos riders. They did a fabulous job stacking the final selection in this year's race. Carapaz, he'll throw in a big dig, and that'll cause the guys behind now to have to start working together. Wout's lucky. He's got one Max Schachmann, and Schachmann's on form. He didn't look so great at the Basque Country. He won Paris-Nice. Now where's his form at? It's back high again, and he's doing most of the work there with Wout Van Aert to keep things under control. First Carapaz, they bring him back. Michael Kwiatkowski, the ex-world champion, is throwing in his own dig, and it's Max Schachmann back there that's just doing amazing pulls to keep Kwiatkowski close. After they bring back Kwiatkowski, Tom Pidcock lights this race up. He takes off. Wout Van Aert goes with him. Max Schachmann's hanging on for dear life. I told you guys when we're watching Tirreno Adriatico that I love the classics, and this is what I was waiting for. We're at just over 12 kilometers to go. Tom Pidcock looks back after doing this big pull. Does amazing pull, Tom. Looks back. Wout Van Aert just shakes his head and says, "No, I'm not coming through." Now, I remember at Tirreno Adriatico when I'm talking on the butterfly effect, I said what my highlight of these classics was going to be is when we watch one of these big leaders like Wout, Mathieu van der Poel, Julian Alaphilippe, when they just shake their head and they say, "I can't do it." And so I just started laughing on the couch when I'm watching. I was like, finally, I got my gift. I got to see the legend shake his head and say, "I'm not coming through." Tom Pidcock slows up a little bit. The pace smooths out. Finally, Wout comes through. Max Schachmann's coming through. Those 3 will work fabulous together the whole time while the group behind's chasing them at about 20 seconds all the way to the finish. So from about 18 kilometers all the way to the finish line, the group is always within about 20 seconds of the race leaders. Now, when we come down to 2K to go, Max Schachmann will throw in a big dig, and this will be his one and only attempt to try to get rid of the 2 fast guys. He won't be successful. Under a K to go, he'll be leading it under the 1K banner. He'll try to shake. He's shaking the riders, moving a little left and right. He starts on, finally he's on the right side. He moves left, and that pushes Wout Van Aert up to the front. It's Wout, Tom Pidcock, and Max Schachmann going in with 700 meters to go. Wout moves right at 600 meters. He moves back to the left then he moves right, then he's left again. He's all over the road trying to shake these guys. He does not want to be the one on the front pulling. In the picture, with 300 meters to go, we could see the field just bearing down on these guys. But Wout's experience, he knows every one of those guys know they got enough time, right? 200 meters on the left side of the road before the finish line. Wout throws in a big acceleration. He looks really good. Now I remember at the Principale, I underrated Tom Pidcock. I did not underrate him today when I'm sitting on the couch and I'm wondering when the kid's going to go. And he goes at 100 meters. It's a bike throw to the line, guys. It was an amazing race. I'd love to tell you who won it, but I had to wait 20 minutes, so I might as well make you guys wait 20 minutes too. Sitting on the couch, I'm still waiting for the results, Finally, it's Wout Van Aert that gets it. I don't know how they decided. When you look at the picture, it is that close. You really can't even see a gap on the computer when I'm watching it. I don't know how they figured it out, but they gave it to Wout. At this moment in time, I'm still waiting here, wondering when I finish the video if I'm going to look on Cycling News and find out they flipped the results the other way. But at this moment, Wout's the winner. Tom Pidcock second. Fabulous ride. So they reversed their positions from Wednesday's semi-classic to today's Amstel Gold Race. And of course, Max Schachmann, a great ride to get on the podium there. Now, Wout Van Aert's won 2 stages of Trino Adriatico. Again, Wevelgem. He wins Amstel Gold. It's vacation time. We'll see him again in top form, I'm sure, for the Tour de France and maybe 1 or 2 events before that if we're really lucky. But remember today's race, when it comes to July, it's going to be a big motivation every time we're seeing Wout really doing that big dig for Primož Roglič. Hope you guys love the butterfly effect, and I'll see you real soon. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you later.